All right, folks, I'm Harrison Graham. He is Jimmy Crowther. Thanks for joining us here on Chat Sports NBA Now. You're going through some lists. You've done point guards.
Yep.
Shooting guards is going out soon. How about small forwards? Top 10 small forwards in the NBA. A lot to choose from. Probably the deepest position group in the NBA. Look, there's some good players that didn't even make the cut on your list, Jimmy.
Yeah, look, these are the guys that didn't make the cut. And you see Kevin Durant is the first name because let's just get this out of the way. This is my projected top 10 small forwards for next season. And you can't count Kevin Durant when the dude's not going to play next season, okay? Eventually, yes, he'll be back in this discussion, but he's not right now.
Yep.
Another guy who missed the cut, Andrew Wiggins, because we haven't seen the consistency out of him or the defensive side. KHRIS LeVert, maybe he gets in through the end of the season, but I got to see him bounce back 100% from that injury. Otto Porter Jr., he's fine. And then Andre Iguodala, and I have him just missing the cut because, last year, defensively, he's easily top 10, but now, I don't know what his future looks like in the NBA.
And side note, the reason we got KHRIS LeVert, he's listed as a guard there, but he's going to play primarily small forward for the Nets, so that is the clarification right there. Same thing with Iggy. He plays some guard, some forward, but he will probably play small forward wherever he lands. Ask you guys this before we get to the list. Will Kevin Durant be a top 5 player in the NBA when he returns? Obviously, he's top 3 before the Achilles tear.
Yeah.
Him, LeBron, and Kawhi, I think, are the consensus top 3. Maybe Steph Curry and Harden round out your top 5, and Giannis. That's your top 6.
Yeah.
I think that's your clear top 6. Will he be top 5 when he returns? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I think you'd have to lean no because you just don't. There's too much uncertainty. There's so much talent in the NBA right now.
I lean no because there's so many of these young guys up and coming, and Durant's he's missing a whole year.
The no's are dominating the chat, Jimmy. It's probably 70% no, 30% yes.
And it's just outside the top 5. It's not like he's down at number 20, but he's not going to be top 5. I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think we have to see him prove it first when he does come back. But let's get into it here. Number 10, you've got the Pelicans' new small forward, Brandon Ingram. Take it away.
Yeah, look, this was a tough one for me to rank because when it comes to upside, Brandon Ingram is close to the top when it comes to these small forwards and upside. He's got so much room to grow. He can do so much. He should be able to do so much eventually. He's got the perfect length and body. But he's got to add the weight, and he hasn't been able to stay healthy, and those health concerns are a huge scare for me. I don't know exactly what his role is going to look like in New Orleans either. It's going to be a huge question mark. So I've got him at number 10 for now.
Yeah, and I think that's a fair spot to have him because, look, before he got hurt at the end of last year, we were starting to see the flashes. I think he had about a 20 or 30 game stretch where he was averaging over 20 points per game. We're like, man, Ingram's really coming on. Then he had the injury. Obviously, the blood clot thing popped up. I think that thing, for the most part, is okay.
I hope so.
You look at this Pelicans roster, that starting 5, all 5 of those guys are going to be factors, and they got bench players who can score too. So it's just hard to say, like you said, exactly what his role in New Orleans will be. I think coming in at number 10 makes some sense there.
Yeah, and again, upside, he's got all of it in the world, but he hasn't met it yet, so I'm not comfortable putting him any higher than number 10 on this list.
All right, guys, type S if you're already subscribed. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't, but type S if you are subscribed. Get some shout-outs going in the chat right now. We know a lot of you guys are subscribed. We know some of you that watch aren't subscribed, and if you don't, just hit that red button.
Red button. Just hit it.
It'll help you out. It'll let you know when we are going live. We got a bunch flying in. You want to read some of those off?
Yeah, Ryan, Bonnie, Mr. Cool, Don't Test the Water, Dutch Jones, Dwayne Curry, y'all are all subscribed. Thank you. If you haven't yet, hit the button. That's the same color as Harrison's shirt, and you'll be subscribed to all of our shows. And
we got Paul, we got Andrew, plenty of guys subscribed. Tell a friend too. Tell them to subscribe to Chat Sports. Be like, guys, they do the dopest NBA content. Subscribe to Chat Sports, YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. We certainly appreciate it. Number 9, Harrison Barnes. Big fan of his work.
Okay, look, I am a Harrison Barnes lover. I love the guy. I kind of always have ever since he went to the Mavs after leaving Golden State.
Great name, of course.
Yes. Yeah. Okay name, I guess. Okay first name there. But look, he's a consistent veteran, and he's proven that he can be a reliable scorer. I know everybody remembers that last game in Golden State as a member of the Golden State Warriors when he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, and that's what they think about him as. But that's not what he is anymore. He's a consistent mid-range scorer. He's become a really good three-point shooter. But the question I've always had with Barnes since leaving Golden State, going to Dallas, is can he play off the ball effectively?
Yeah.
He has to be able to do that in Sacramento when you have guys like De'Aaron Fox, Bogdanovich, and Buddy Hield.
The problem with Barnes is he's not a great catch-and-shoot guy.
Yeah.
And the Kings are a team that wants to be a fast-paced ball movement type of team. You've got Buddy Hield. You got De'Aaron Fox. Fox is one of the faster point guards in the league. You want to be able to spot up in the corner and knock down a three. That's not really Barnes' game. You think about his couple of years in Dallas. He really helped stabilize that team in the sense that he was kind of the go-to guy and the offense flowed through him. That's why once they got Luka, it didn't really make sense to keep him anymore because he wasn't nearly as effective. That's kind of the next step for him. Can he be a guy that doesn't have to have the ball in his hands to be an effective scorer?
And he's a great defender. Like, Harrison Barnes is a really good defender. Biggest downside I have with him, outside of not being able to play with the ball in his hands super well, he's not a great rebounder for a forward.
Yeah.
But overall, I think this is a pretty good spot for Harrison Barnes.
We got Harrison Barnes at number 9. There's definitely not 9 games better than NBA 2K. It's got to be the best sports game out there, right? You guys want a copy? Sign up with our sports partner, MyBookie. You sign up, you deposit, you place that first bet, put down $100. They're going to give you $100 for free, $50. They're going to give you $50 for free. That's what 100% means. Chatsports.com/NBA now. Use that promo code ChatNBA. After you place that first bet, be sure to email us at promo@chatsports.com. Hook you up with a new copy of NBA 2K20. I think the Sacramento Kings might be a fun team to use this year.
Yeah, play up and down pace with De'Aaron Fox. Give the ball to Marvin Bagley. I'm all about it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, ChatNBA is that promo code. You sign up today with MyBookie. Let's keep this list going. Joe Ingles coming in at number 8. Certainly not flashy, but very effective for the Utah Jazz.
Not flashy at all. In fact, I think there's a lot of casual NBA fans that would be like, why in the world is Joe Ingles number 8? Well, he's great on the defensive side of the ball. He's a great three-point shooter. That's all you need him to do, and he just embraces his role so well for this Utah Jazz team. I'm super excited to see this team next year with Conley and Mitchell, their new backcourt. The 2 forwards, we list Bogdanović as a power forward. That's why you won't see him on this list.
Stretch 4 there.
Exactly, and Ingles is your defensive 3 that can knock down a three-pointer. I'm excited for this Jazz team, and Joe Ingles is the perfect complementary player.
You're excited about the Jazz. I'm excited about the Bucks, although I think you are too. You got them
Always.
winning the finals next year. Chris Middleton getting that big deal this offseason. He comes in number 7 on your list.
Yeah, look, he played more shooting guard last season, but now you need him to slide into that small forward position so Giannis can play the 4. Again, this is why you won't see Giannis on this list because he's going to be a power forward next year. But look, Chris Middleton was an all-star, and I think this jump from 8 to 7 is a pretty sizable gap because Middleton, 18 points per game, 6 boards. He showed that he can pass it pretty well, and three-point shooting is what he does. That and defense, that's all you need from him.
His next step is being that reliable second guy because I've always said the last couple of years, I think Chris Middleton would be a great third option for a contending team, but in Milwaukee, he needs to be that second guy, that sidekick to Giannis. If they're going to win a championship, he needs to be that guy come playoff time. Speaking of that, where do you guys think the Bucks will finish in the Eastern Conference next season? I certainly think they're the team to beat out East.
Yep, I've got them going number 1. I've got them the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference. Maybe just the number 1 team in the NBA next year.
Ooh, interesting. So keep those comments flowing in. Got first, we got second, got a lot of 2s. 5th. Wow. First seed. Name 4 teams better than the Bucks in the East next year. Don't worry, I will wait. Let's get to number 6. Jayson Tatum. Boston Celtics looking to contend in the East as well. You got Tatum at number 6.
Yeah, and look, when you look at purely based on last year, that's not what this list is. This list is who's going to be the best small forwards next season. Jayson Tatum is going to be near the top of that list. That's why he's number 6 right now. Now, between his rookie year and his sophomore season, the jump wasn't as big as people wanted. You know, he went from 14 to 16 points, 5 boards to 6 boards. The assist numbers didn't really move. And then the efficiency took a dip.
Yep.
Because he got asked to do more, and he didn't really, contribute as much as they would have liked. But now, no more drama in Boston. You just let Jayson Tatum be a go-to guy.
Yeah, Kyrie's out of there. We saw a couple of years ago those young guys were much more effective when he was not in the mix. So I think that he certainly will flourish in the 2019-2020 season. Top 5, Tobias Harris, Philadelphia.
Huge fan of Tobias Harris, a great scorer. You give him the ball, he's going to find a way to put the ball in the basket. And now he is officially the 3rd option in Philadelphia. You get Jimmy Butler, gone. So now it's Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, and Ben Simmons as your main big 3 options. I like Tobias. Now he doesn't have to play that power forward role because Al Horford is there. He slides in immediately to the small forward role. Question mark I have for him next year is, can he effectively defend other small forwards because he's been defending power forwards for so long now in Philly.
Yeah, and it could be one of those deals where I think Philadelphia is going to mix and match lineups. I actually think offensively he's best suited as a stretch four, but with Al Horford there now, he's going to play primarily small forward, at least starting out games. You look at his numbers there, 20 points, 8 boards. His assist went up a little bit, good three-point shooter. The question is going to be, like you said, is he more suited as a small forward, as a power forward? Well, we're going to find out during this season.
Yeah, I like Tobias Harris. I expect big things from him. But now coming in at number 4, a bit of a controversial one because really he's been playing shooting guard his entire career. But when he returns next season, like when he is back, he will slide into that starting small forward position for the Golden State Warriors. It's Klay Thompson.
Yeah, and the reason there is obviously D'Angelo Russell is in the fold now. So the backcourt's going to be Curry, D'Lo, Klay Thompson listed as a guard, but it's going to slide in and play that small forward position. So unless something happens with the D'Lo trade, that could certainly change some things. And side note there too, that's why Draymond isn't on this list. He's listed as a power forward because he's going to play 4 primarily for the Golden State Warriors moving forward. And you guys are probably saying, oh, you didn't put KD on this list. Why is Klay on this list? Well, Klay's going to come back. He's expected to be back around the All-Star break, if not a little bit after.
Exactly. And when he comes back, players that come back from ACL injuries, there's usually not that big of a drop-off. And Klay Thompson's not a guy that, with the way he plays the game, I expect to see any kind of drop-off from him. That's why I'm keeping him in at number 4 here.
So this is what the starting 5 will look like in our opinions with Klay Thompson. What do you guys think it'll look like? Will Kevon Looney be in there? Maybe D'Lo becomes a super 6th man? I'll be curious to see how Steve Kerr kind of tinkers with his lineup once Klay Thompson returns. But we want to hear from you guys what the starting 5 will look like in Golden State when Klay Thompson is back in the mix. Top 3 here. Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Buckets heading to Miami. He's got he's number 3 on your list, Jimmy.
Yeah, I kind of went back and forth with him and Klay Thompson, but because Jimmy Butler is going to be the go-to guy in Miami next year, we're going to see a little bit more out of him. I think he slides into that small forward position with maybe Winslow or Waiters at the 2 guard. I'm a big fan of Jimmy Butler because he can do everything on the defensive side of the ball, and he can do everything on the offensive side of the ball. And now, with Jimmy Butler being the go-to guy in Miami next year, the only question I have is that efficiency going to drop off at all?
Yeah.
Because he was the 3rd option in Philadelphia, sometimes the 4th, and now he is a number 1 option in a team fighting for a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference.
As crazy as it sounds, I still wonder if Miami shouldn't pursue a Chris Paul trade. Just that they need some backcourt help, I think. And, obviously that contract is a disaster. But if you're asking Jimmy Butler to be your do-it-all guy, I think that's a bit of a dangerous precedent. I like Jimmy Butler a lot, and I think having him number 3 makes some sense because he will have big numbers next year. I just wonder if him as your top guy makes a lot of sense.
And also you can see that the guy with my first name's higher on the list than the guy with your first name earlier here in Harrison Barnes.
I can't defend Harrison Barnes over Jimmy Butler. You win this one.
Greater than Harrison.
Classic hater Jimmy coming through right there. Top 2, LeBron James coming in at number 2. Probably know who number 1 is based on that, but we'll get to that in a second. LeBron coming in right here.
Yeah, look, okay, I get it. Everybody's going to be like, wait, but LeBron is playing point guard. Okay, you're not fooling anyone, LeBron James. You're not technically going to be listed as a point guard. The dude is a small forward. That's what he is. I mean, he's not small.
When you're 6'8", 265, you're going to be listed as a forward. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah, you are a small forward. And, I have him number 2 because he is going to be coming off, I say the worst injury of his career. It's really
the only injury of his career.
It's the only injury. It wasn't really that big of a deal. It kept him out of a ton of games for sure. But in a quote-unquote down year, LeBron put up ridiculous numbers. I expect him to be, even more efficient than this.
I think no one's ever actually done 27.5, 8 and 8 in a season. I think, or very few people have, and everybody's like, oh man, LeBron, you can see him age. He had a monster season. The Lakers just weren't any good.
Right.
That is what happened this year. Obviously, after a year off, I think he will be ready to go. I think he's fired up to get going this season. I think he's going to watch this video and say, Jimmy, you know what? I'm going to prove why I belong number 1 on this list. But speaking of the Lakers, speaking of LeBron, where are they going to finish in the Western Conference? Are they the team to beat out West?
Not yet. I can't get comfortable putting them at 1. I'm leaning more to that 4 or 5 seed for the Los Angeles Lakers next season. If LeBron's even better than he was last year, they'll be 1 or 2, but I'm leaning 4 or 5.
So do you think they could be one of those teams that it takes a little bit while to get going, so their seed is 4 or 5, but they're still, outside of the Clippers maybe the best team to make the finals out of the West? Is that what you're saying?
Come playoff time, that is a team that I expect to be in the Western Conference Finals.
I could see that for sure. Speaking of the Clippers, number one, you know who it is, Kawhi Leonard. The only thing he hasn't accomplished at this point of his career is winning a regular season MVP. Maybe this year is the year to do it.
Maybe it is. The only reason he wouldn't is because load management nights, and he just takes a few nights off, and it's not all about the regular season for Kawhi.
He's not an individual guy.
No, Kawhi's
all about winning.
Kawhi's playing for the postseason, and I think that's one of the reasons he's so high on this list is because he's so focused on the postseason and winning a championship. I mean, he's arguably the best wing defender in the league. And he's incredible on the offensive end as well. We saw what he did last year with Toronto, leading them to their first franchise championship. And, he wasn't playing in every single game. He didn't play in all 82 or anything like that. But when he did play, monster numbers here.
Yeah, 27, 7, and 3. Shoots well from the outside. You had the note there as well. Paul George not on this list because he's probably going to play stretch 4 for the Clippers primarily this year. So look forward to that when we go through our power forwards video. So don't freak out. We didn't forget about Paul George.
Yeah.
He is going to be a top 10 power forward when we do that video. But Kawhi Leonard coming in at number 1. I mentioned it earlier. Could he win MVP? Who will win MVP in 2020? I'm still leaning Giannis because he's the clear top option there. You almost wonder with the Clippers, do they have too much talent for Kawhi to put up the numbers? That's kind of what happened with Golden State the last few years.
Absolutely. Tom always says Steph Curry. He's obviously not here today. So I'm with you, Harrison. I'm going Giannis Antetokounmpo.